Hello everyone, Steve Blair 2010 here with Season 2, Episode 4 of Tea Time with Steve. This episode's featured tea is winter chai tea. And keeping with the tradition of Season 2, it's also from the Brighton Tea Company. I've misplaced the pamphlet that the Brighton Tea Company gave me, so I can't give their description of it, but I'll do my best to give my own description of it. Let me try it here. This is actually my first sip of the tea right now on camera. Well, it's got a light sweetness, and I actually like that. You can actually taste the black tea in it. At least that's what I'm assuming. Every chai tea I've ever had has been black tea. And it looks and tastes like one, so I'm going to assume it's black tea. It's not like most chai teas that I've had that are actually like spicy and in your face. It's actually just a light sweetness with the black tea taste in the background. It's actually really good. So look at the Brighton Tea Company. There should be a link in the description. And get some winter chai. I actually really recommend it. And I figured winter chai would be appropriate because of the fact that, well, it's January, it's in the middle of winter, unless you're watching this in the southern hemisphere of the planet, in which case, too bad for you. Alright. Well, this episode is going to be about my past on the internet. And you may be wondering what I mean by that. It's like you just started this channel at, what was it, 2 years ago, just a little over that? Well, I actually had, I wouldn't say a presence on the internet, but I did have things on the internet that I was in, such as videos and animations and stuff that I actually took part in before I made my channel, years before I made my channel on YouTube. It was actually on sites like Newgrounds, where you could find me actually years ago. Is that site? Yeah, that site's still around. Alright, anyway. It was actually my brother, Tommy, that used to do animations and skits, and actually claymation was his favorite thing to do. And what I would do is I would provide some voices for him, for his claymations mainly, but other animations that he did. There was some in like Flash that he did on an old computer we used to have downstairs. So I provided voices for his claymations, his animations. We even did a few skits. He actually had his own website a long time ago called Team Pirate Ninjas. Don't even bother trying to look that up. It's been dead, gone off the internet for years and years and years. But for a while there, you know, we had our own website. We went on Newgrounds. He had a thing there where he had a bunch of his stuff. There's one skit that I remember in particular where I was the main character in it, along with his friend Mike Doyle. I was a waiter at a Chinese restaurant. And Mike, he tried to order an order of the egg rolls with sweet and sour sauce, and I kept insisting he could have sweet or sour sauce, but not both. So an argument ensues on that skit, and there's one particular joke, basically, where I bow and I go, "Fuck you, sir," and then I kick him off of the chair at the table and start ghetto stomping him. I remember that old skit. That was a weird one, but we did a few, you know, like one where Mike was a trespasser in our yard and Tommy shot him. I didn't really have a big part in that one. I was just playing the role of Tommy's brother in that one, basically pointing him out and telling him to shoot him. I don't know if that actually made it onto the website he had, or if that went onto Newgrounds or whatever. But he did many, many different animations and stuff, and it was really fun. I think that's where I actually got this deep-seated desire a long time ago to perform and to be on the internet. Not perform like live like most people do, like with you know, like a stage, like theater kind of thing. I actually had the internet performing bug, if you can call it that. But I've always had this, I guess desire is the best word that I could use to have, I guess for lack of a better word, internet fame. And I know I'm nowhere near famous on the internet now. In fact, more people probably knew about me years ago when I was a little kid doing those voices for Tommy's animations than now with my YouTube channel. But the examples I gave you were just a few examples. I mean, I did a lot of things with him. And those claymations that my brother would do, he was inspired by, if you remember this old guy called Knox. He had a site called Knox's Corner. That's spelled with K's. I'll put text on the screen here for it. I'm not sure if he's still around, actually. I probably should have checked before doing this. But for those of you who don't remember Knox, he was this guy who would do claymations that with these like blue blob guys. There was no faces to them or anything. They just had arms and legs, basic bodies, and semicircles for heads. And they were all blue clay. And he was hilarious. He did a lot of them. I mean, years and years and years he did these claymations. Anyway, sorry about that cut. So for years and years he did that, and for years and years we watched him do these claymations. And so Tommy thought, you know what, I would love to do that too. So he started doing that. He got a bunch of clay, basically made the same kind of design as he did, because it was basically one giant homage to Knox, that whole thing. Although, what the hell just happened? Anyway. Although he did most of the voices, I provided a few of them, so that was really fun. But, hey, maybe there's a chance that one of you watching this actually remembers Team Pirate Ninjas, so you'll probably find me familiar then. That whole website. I kind of wish sometimes that he had kept that up and kept it going, but whatever. I guess it was just a hobby for him for a short time. This is, I think my channel has gone on longer than this site did, to be honest with you. But still. Any of you watching me that have your own channels or whatever, do you have a past on the internet kind of like that? Tell me about it in the comments. I would love to have a conversation with you about other things you've done in the past on the internet. It'd be great to hear about it. Well, speaking of the internet fame, I'm actually kind of liking how it's gone locally for me. Not over the internet, unfortunately, like I would want it to, but I'm not complaining that locally in my hometown I've actually become kind of a celebrity of sorts. A lot of people are talking about my channel out there in my town, and actually quite a few times people I didn't even know recognized me around town, so that's kind of cool. I don't know what happened for a long, long time. I kept doing my videos, kept telling people about my videos, and nothing came of it. Nobody talked about it, and hardly any people actually went home and actually watched them like I asked them to. And then all of a sudden, one day, it just boom, exploded locally. Not over the internet, but locally it exploded. Now everyone seems to be talking about it and being inspired to make their own stuff, and everyone comes up to me, they're talking about YouTube channels, and some people have told me about their YouTube channels and they want me to, you know, promote them or subscribe to them, watch their stuff, you know. And I'm finding a few friends of mine, in fact, had YouTube channels they never even told me about, and I've inspired some people to want to make videos again that have stopped making videos at YouTube channels, like my good friend Dan, who I'm hoping will be on an episode of Tea Time with me very soon, a couple times. We had hoped to film when I went over to his place. Never got around to it, unfortunately. A couple times. Those of you who follow my blog on DeviantArt will know that I had planned to film some Tea Time with him, and then I made a retraction post about that, saying that I should probably post on my blog again. Haven't done that in a while. This episode's gonna have, it had normally a large amount of cuts. I have that feeling for some reason. So, why did it take me so many years to go from working with my brother and his friends on their stuff to doing my own? Why did that transition take, how many years was it? Geez, I was in junior high? I think I was going from middle school to junior high at about the time this happened, so I was in 6th or 7th grade. So that means, let's see, I'm going to do some math here. This will take a second because I'm kind of slow about that. So it was about roughly 8 years ago. So I was about, 13 or so, 13, 14. I could have just done that on a calculator and made it a lot faster, but I didn't feel like cheating. So it took about 6 years for me to start doing stuff again after that. And I'm really not sure why. I think it might have been because, when you're young like that, you don't really care as much, about the way people see you, you're less self-conscious, and then because of a lot of bullying in school, I became very, very, very self-conscious as I got older, and that's probably what took me so long. It took me getting out of high school and being an adult, getting basically more positive recognition just in general as a person for me to get the kind of confidence that I needed to even start doing a channel. And even when I started, I wasn't completely comfortable with it. That was actually part of the reason for doing it in the first place, was that I wanted to be comfortable with performing, because I've always had that desire to do it, like I said earlier, and that probably started with working with my brother. So this was kind of a way of pushing myself out of my comfort zone at first, and it turned into something I absolutely loved doing. Who knew that I had this love for video making and editing? Especially editing. I had no idea I would absolutely love that. The making of it, the performing, was something I thought that I would love more than anything eventually, or at least I was hoping I would, and I did. But again, it really surprises me that editing actually turned out to be my favorite part, honestly. Unlike some people I can think of, like Jesse Wood. I'm not even sure really why he does it. He hates editing so much. I guess he likes the performing itself and the recognition he gets. Because he said if he could, he would hire somebody to edit for him. But, you know, honestly, this is my words, not his. If you want something done right, do it yourself. You probably wouldn't like how it turned out if you had somebody else edit for him. So having somebody else edit for you, generally not a good way to go. Do it all yourself if you want it done exactly to your vision. I'm not saying you can't take advice from other people. You can take advice and learn how to use your editing program better from people who may know more, but just actually do it yourself and make it the way you want. So it was kind of cool for me being a part of that and being able to promote it. I've always loved promoting things and people. We made a DVD for different things on his site that we were planning on selling. I'm not sure if Tommy actually sold any or not. I should probably ask him that if you remember from that. But we also had magnets made and business cards and stuff, and we spread the word around Fowlerville schools. So a lot of people locally knew about it at the time. Most of you have probably forgotten about it, but that was a pretty cool thing. I got in trouble once for handing those things out, and I just said, I'll come back tomorrow with more, so you can go ahead and take them away. Yeah, it was hilarious. Absolutely loved it. I've always loved just spreading the word about things. I don't know why. Maybe that's what I should do for a career. I'd start with this, and then I should go into doing commercials or something, doing something that everyone absolutely hates. Even I hate commercials, but maybe it's something I should get into if I absolutely love doing promotional things. It's ironic, really. I hate having to sit through ads, and I hate watching commercials, but the idea of making commercials isn't entirely bad to me. Does that make me a hypocrite? Well, back to this tea. The ingredients in this tea are Assam tea, cinnamon, cloves, cardamom, and ginger. So it's a smaller ingredients list and a less spicy ingredients list than most of the chai teas I've seen in my day, so maybe that's why it's just a light sweetness. Like what I'm noticing. What is that ingredient that's missing? Shit. I don't remember what it's called now. Just as I was about to say it and I forgot what it was. There's actually a few programs that my brother had for making animations and videos, and actually even audio editing, that I wish that I had. Would make things a lot easier. Speaking in the past tense, it would help me right now if I had these things. Like his microphone recording program. It was great because he could record and listen to things back at the same time without having to unplug the microphone. This one I have now, it's great, but when I used it, I found that I actually had to set the microphone as the main audio in-out for my computer because it's USB, and so I can't actually listen back through the headphones on my recording, let alone other things. While it's still plugged in, I actually have to unplug it to listen to my recording or anything else. So the series I had planned, it's going to work a little bit differently than I thought it would, but it'll still work because I do have a backup plan for it. Those of you who either know me personally or really follow my work will already know what this series is, because I've actually hinted to it in the past on my videos and talked about it plenty with people I know. So if you want to figure it out, go and watch my older videos. Maybe you'll figure out what this series I keep talking about that involves this microphone here is. Here it is set up. I did the unboxing video, but I haven't actually showed what it looks like when it's all set up. It's really cool. So that'll be coming sometime in the spring. There's another clue for you. Well, for those of you who've been wondering this entire time, this is a Nightmare Before Christmas mug. Jack Skellington's face. The reason I haven't been showing the face towards you guys this whole time like I would like, it's awfully hard to drink out of the back of his skull. It's actually easier to drink out of his forehead. If you drink out the back of the cup, it tends to dribble down the sides of your mouth because it's rounded on the outside. Makes it difficult to form a seal. Well, this episode of Tea Time is going to be a little short, but it's still a good episode nonetheless. This has been Steve Blair 2010, and I'll see you next time.